Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 24 of Let's Play Republic the Revolution. Our multilateral offensive is continuing, however our enemies are mobilizing against us. They're publishing slanderous articles against us in the news, and they're doing all that they can to hinder our growth. This is something that I cannot allow to continue, and something that I will not allow to continue. We are fighting in the name of our survival, as always. However, for now it appears that we have a chance at coming out on top in all aspects. We have control over a large portion of the city, and we're making our move to take over even more of it. We're pushing back the Constantino cartel as we vie for control over the central area of the city with them. Since the anarchists and the mafia are no longer a major force, they are no longer any kind of threat. All we have to do is preserve our momentum. Although that is indeed easier said than done. Even more points are flowing in for our movement. All appears to be going well. However, I can't be completely sure. I think I'll launch an investigation into these neighborhoods here. And I'll also begin the public criticism of the Constantino cartel in various areas of the city. We're going to consolidate our hold, and we're going to do this quickly and effectively. We're also going to work desperately, since I fear Churnyev's loyalty is falling. He might not be as loyal to us soon as he is now. And so we'll get him to launch some army draft campaigns, since those poster campaigns are doing bad for him. Okay, the Constantino cartel has officially declared war on us. Great news, since that means that we actually have someone to go up against properly. It's all out, and now we can take the risk. We are going to strike at them decisively, and we are going to break them. It is only a matter of time. We are unstoppable. We will not be defeated, not now and not ever. We will not yield. Hopefully we can triumph in... Christ, I forgot the name of the town. Pugachev, yes. Hopefully we can triumph in Pugachev soon. If you ask me, this has all been a lot easier than back in Ekaterine. We've gained traction a lot more easily, we've triumphed over our rivals a lot more easily, but it turns out that the anarchists have a colossal stronghold down in Makevich Court and Pushkin Park. And we're going to have to deal with that, whether we like it or not. Because it's a threat. They've built up their support base, and I'm certain that they're preparing for another offensive. And so we've got to consolidate our position and to improve it. Surprisingly, my resolve is back up to 100%. That's very good, since my other attributes are starting to suffer as a result of the movement itself being undermined. Anyhow, we're working hard, we're getting somewhere, and I'm glad. I'm very glad. Day 84. No statistics today, but the Constantino cartel has just launched a massive assault against us. This is it. I'm going to have to hold another rally. This time in the town center. I'm unfortunately feeling a bit too tired to go out and dub the whole thing, so I won't. I will instead focus on strengthening my other activities, advancing on other fronts.
Да спасибо, спасибо, Марташа. А я... Что Горбеев?
So we have a very sharp criticism of our enemies, being launched by Comrade Ikramov. This is very good indeed. It shall allow our glorious revolution to triumph sooner than expected as well. Fucking hell. Okay. So, Mr. Churniev's activities are making him even less confident in the movement. So I say that we give him the nights off. That could hopefully help. Now, it would really pay off if we were to boost our resolve boosting actions, since we've invested very little into them at all. And our movement is starting to suffer as a result. So I say we organize some fiercer public criticism of the anarchists. We make ourselves heard, we make ourselves known, we break their power forever. The anarchist movement in Pugachev shall soon be annihilated. We are an unstoppable force. They can try to delay us, they can try to resist us. But it is only a matter of time until we achieve our final, glorious triumph. So it turns out that Boris Churniev is no longer a special forces chief, but actually a general. So we have a general in our movement. That's honestly extremely cool. It gives us influence over the military, meaning that we could potentially launch a coup. Now, we're going to temporarily supervise the graffiti actions of Comrade Yuri Ikramov, so that we can have his message be best fit, best suited to the audience that's going to see it. Doing it by night is also an intelligent tactic. It allows us to consolidate our position without our enemies noticing or trying or being even able to stop us. So we're going to appeal to some more left-wing populist sentiments here. Anti-capitalism. Here we go. We'll see what he'll put up. Looks good. Looks good to me. Organized anarchy has attacked us in Laika Common of all places. One of our heartlands. Meanwhile, I'm going to boost a favor action, which will hopefully strengthen us significantly. So once our points come back up, we're going to do it. Meanwhile, we're going to lash out with all of our strength to consolidate our hold. This evangelization will be worthless, I'm thinking. However, we do have other things that we can do. Pugachev Central is currently hotly contested between ourselves and the cartel. And they're even hiring pop stars to hold concerts and festivals. That isn't an especially welcome move. Not from my perspective anyway. So we're going to begin our campaign. We're going to launch tirade of attacks against them. We're going to consolidate our control, and we're going to do it quickly. We can't afford to overstretch ourselves, however, since we'll end up with a similar failure. We'll fall flat on our faces just as we did in Ekaterine when we took that risk, and it did not pay off. We're going to have to conserve our points and strengthen ourselves. Consolidate our movement however best we can. Meanwhile, the latest statistics are in. We have made immense progress. We have overtaken the Constantino cartel. We have held roughly the same amount of land, but now the organized anarchy movement has higher resolve than we do. This isn't a good sign. What is a good sign is that we are now the most powerful single faction in the city. All we have to do is keep it that way. Things are going badly though. This much is obvious. And I'm afraid of it all. Honestly, I am. I'm afraid that our movement will lose its traction and collapse. And if that happens, I don't know how we'll recover. If we'll recover. So we'll temporarily abandon our push into the Mir Estate and the Buran Gardens, and we'll instead try our best to hold the ground that we already have. To fight this battle resolutely to the very end. Since if we don't fight, we will certainly be defeated. And defeat is the one thing that I am not ready to accept. I am not ready to accept the will of the Novi Stranen people being destroyed, being defeated by not only the conspiratorial forces of the dictatorial regime, which honestly is doing barely anything to undermine us anyway, but even more so by these schemers and opportunists within the opposition. If anything, they're the ones who will fuck us over the most. And that's what I fear. I fear this. I honestly do. Which is why I'm taking so much decisive action. I'm wondering whether we should move to a place that has a larger accommodation. Perhaps a place that accepts 5 people instead of 4. However, we've got to find the necessary base for such a thing. We could move to the other side of town in the Udalsova precinct, but that would be too much of a risk. We'd be abandoning our stronghold. And so I think we'll be better off moving into the Laika Common. Since it's a strategic location, since it's on the very edge of the city. However, our other efforts are failing. Hopefully, Comrade Ikram will do a better job of persuading Churniev that he's better off staying with our movement. In the meantime, let's see what's going on here. So basically, the Constantino cartel is getting into legal troubles, while our advance is continuing more or less unabated. All seems well then. Tomorrow we'll start moving our HQ as well. That sounds like a good idea. We'll also see if we can find any activities, any shady activities on the part of the cartel for us to investigate and to criticize. Unfortunately, we're no longer able to criticize the takeovers. Meanwhile, ironically enough, the anarchists are in charge of a bank. Well, what a world we live in. What a world. Okay, resolve is continuing to fall. Chernyayev is losing his confidence in our movement. This is quite bad to see. Quite bad indeed. However, I'm going to stay calm. We still have a good position. We still have a powerful position. Perhaps we'd be better off moving into the Soloviev estate, somewhere where our working class comrades will feel more comfortable. So we're going to move into the Assassin Precinct to reassure Mr. Chernyayev and Comrade Ikramov of the strength of our movement. Meanwhile, I'm realizing that we need to strengthen Mr. Baturin's resolve. Since his own resolve is falling, when he used to be the one with the highest resolve of all. Well, he just leveled up. So let's see how we can boost him. We could use brainwashing, or charity work, or boost his evangelization, which I think I'll do. We're making him a very charismatic individual, that's for sure. Meanwhile, we're organizing some serious canvassing right here. And by God, it better be successful. We'll organize some more charity work from Mr. Baturin. Hopefully this will boost his resolve. We're doing well, that's for certain. We're strengthening our movement, we're moving onwards, we're marching forwards, and chances are that we will triumph decisively in Pugachev. Now the resolve of our old comrades isn't much better. However, we relocated to the Assassin Precinct, bringing us up to the front line in our battle against the Constantino cartel. We're going to dispatch Mr. Baturin to continue with his charity work. We've got to help the people. We've got to bring our finances out to the streets. Since we have more than enough of them, we can share them out with not only the members of the NPRM, but the general populace to win their hearts to our movement and thus to strengthen our revolution. The hearts and minds will, however, be won at another time, because I'm probably going to put an end to this episode. If you've been enjoying the series up until now, don't forget to leave a like and a comment and to subscribe to my channel to show some revolutionary solidarity. I've been the Nerd Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for today.